ABCs, print awareness, phonics awareness, knowledge of syllables. Those are all skills that your child will learn in this curriculum here. Plus, there's a possibility you could do this completely for free. Come check it out. Hi guys, I'm Kathleen Lewis. I am a homeschool graduate, now homeschool mom to two, and I'm just about ready to start this program here for the second time for my second child. So All About Reading Pre-Reading is an excellent program teaching you as the parent what you need to know in order to teach your child to read. Also gives you great tips on just practical pre-reading skills that you need to work with your child. So this program, let me read from the back here, teaches print awareness, phonological, phonics awareness, we'll just go with that, letter knowledge, listening comprehension, and giving them a motivation to read. It covers all those skills and is completely play-based. Before I show you inside this and all the great goodies behind me that come with the program, let me give you my fast facts for the curriculum. First of all, how much does it cost? Currently, and I can't speak for inflation, but currently the entire package is about $120 when you buy it from the website. It is possible to make it cheaper than that. You can get just this and the student book right here, which is the core of the curriculum, for about $70 new. Or I have tips for you to even make it cheaper than that and possibly free. So stick around later when I show you into the details and I'll show you about that. Are there any hidden costs? Well, yes, there's arts and crafts supplies that you're supposed to use with this book right here, the activity book. One more comment about cost. This right here could be used as a complete preschool program if you add just one more thing to it. And if you want to know the details about that, stick around to the end and I'll tell you that. Second question, who is this program best for? Any family or child can benefit from this. It is very flexible, so you can adapt it to your family's budget or your child's specific needs. Third question, how much time does this program take? Well, depending on how much you do, it could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour per day. Let me explain about that because I know that's a lot for preschool age kid. So according to my estimation, it takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do the actual lesson in here, depending on how well your child interacts with you and pays attention. But my guess would be closer to 5 minutes. And then the big piece of this is 20 minutes of reading, which you don't get books in here. There's no book lists in here, but part of the program is for you to spend 20 minutes reading picture books with your child. So that's going to be the biggest time chunk of this program. And then the third part here is going to be, again, this activity book, which could take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, depending on how much a child wants to get into these craft pages in here. And I'll show you more about that later. So all in all, it's a very short program, and you can even break this up into chunks, like maybe do the activity early in the day, and then later, just after lunch, you can sit down and read some books, and at the end of the day, you can get out your craft page and do this part. It's very manageable for any child. Fourth question, what kind of learner is this best for? It is multisensory, so it is best for any child. You've got the auditory learners in here listening to you teach. You've got a whole bunch of visual elements that your child will benefit from, and of course, it is hands-on and play. So kinesthetic learners also great with this program. Fifth question, how easy is it for you as the parent to use this curriculum? It is open and go. It is very easy, but I would suggest a quick pre-read, skim through of the material ahead of time, maybe take a minute so you can see what's coming and know what you need to focus on that day and not have to sit there with a wiggly child as you read the instructions to the parent. Sixth question, are there any cons? Yes, obviously the price is a con if you buy the entire package new. But again, stick around, I'll give you some tips on how you can bring that cost down. Another con is that some of the elements in here get very tedious and repetitive if you do them every single day, as the program says. So some of your kids may want to skip singing the ABC song every day. Some of your kids may want to skip doing the craft page every day. So you'll just have to know your child and adjust accordingly. But there are some very repetitive stuff in here, which could be excellent for some kids, but not so good for others. Last question, what about a gifted kid? Can they use this curriculum? Depends on the gifted kid. Highly exceptionally profoundly gifted kids, I would say no. This would be way too tedious for them. And it's not gonna be worth your money to buy it and teach them, because They'll get everything very fast. For moderately gifted kids or mildly gifted kids, yes, with some caveats. As I said, there's a lot of repetitive parts in here. So my son is gifted, and we cut out the singing the ABC song every day. We cut out some of the extras. Eventually he did not want to do the craft page, and it's actually in the back of the activity book. There's an entire section back here that we just stopped doing completely because it was too repetitive and boring for him. However, that's when this teacher's guide comes into play, because there's a lot of activities in here that are really powerful that you can fly through 5 in a day, and they're great training for your kid to get ready to read. I keep telling you guys you can make this program cheap or free. So let me walk you through all the components they have as part of the package and give you my tips now. First up is the teacher's book. You cannot do the program without this. It is impossible. So this is necessary. You can just buy this, which it's not that bad of a price for a curriculum. Or you could find out if your local library has it. My sister's library, who is in another state, does have this book here. And you can do the program completely for free then if your library does have this. Also, if your library has these, you don't have to buy these either. My sister's library does have these books. Now these are technically the readers for the program, and normally readers are necessary, but in this case I don't think that is so. They are cute, maybe 10-second stories that have rhymes in them, and they use the letter of the week quite frequently within the story. They're cute pictures, they're funny and silly stories, but you can do the same thing with picture books that have rhymes in them, like The Little Blue Truck, or by reading Mother Goose. It teaches the same thing: print awareness, phonics awareness, and I think the published picture books are more enjoyable than these. My son and I never finished Lizard Lou because we just got kind of bored with it. Another thing in the program is Ziggy the Zebra. This right here is fun and a hoot, but if you know anything about the program, this is not the official Ziggy. This is a Melissa and Doug puppet that I got, I think, 5 for the price of the 1 Ziggy puppet in the program. I decided, let's get something my kids can play with, made for their hands and not for the adult hand. Also, if you don't want to go out and buy a puppet specifically for this program, you could just use a stuffed animal that you have at home and name it something else. You can use your child's favorite stuffed animal and have the child's favorite stuffed animal come do reading with them. That is a perfect way to eliminate a $20 cost. Another thing in the program are these charts. Now, I lost my capital chart, but this is the lowercase chart. You can create your own chart at home, and my son and I quit using this after a couple weeks because he knew the song and he wasn't that into it anymore. We used it maybe every once in a while, but I don't think the full chart is necessary to the program. You can do it with just a 1-page print off that you get off the internet. Other parts of the student packet are the progress chart, which you can create your own, and then the certificate of achievement, which you could create your own if you do want this. I didn't use either of these. And then the last component here are flashcards. You can obviously make your own flashcard if you want to save money. So these are all the lowercase letters here. But personally, I did not use these at all because my son was learning the letters without these. And then you have these. These are picture cards, which you use in the activities in the teacher's book. It is not possible to do this program without these picture cards. However, here is a trick so you can eliminate buying these. In the teacher's book, they have pictures here telling you exactly which picture card you're supposed to be using for the activity. If you're artistically inclined, you can go out and draw your own fan, draw your own flag, draw your own map, and not have to rely upon the curriculum. So, yet another way to save money. This activity book is the last element here of the program, and it again is kind of a core piece. It has all these activity pages in here that are letters that your child colors on and then does fine motor craft activities. So there's painting, there's cutting and pasting, there's just pasting with pieces of foil. There's painting in here. There's on the back of the pages, there's a whole bunch of ideas on how to make this really an art project that's fun. In the back third of the book, you have pages like this, where it is the letter and then the child is doing cutting and pasting, trying to match the beginning sounds of each of these pictures to the letter here. And then occasionally there's pictures like this where your child is coloring by letter to figure out the hidden picture here. Other things scattered in here are these pages where you have the wagon that your child is putting some of these picture cards into as part of the games. And then you have this where you use it for syllables, putting the pictures onto the numbers, figuring out how many syllables are in the word. I said you can do this program for free. How in the world are you going to replace this? The main reason you have this is for visual reminders of what the letter looks like, which you could do using a link on All About Reading's website for Play-Doh pages. This is a free download, and I dropped the link down there. They have these pages which you can either just cut and have a child do arts and craft decorations of the letters. You can do Play-Doh on them. You can do kinetic sand. There's so many ways you can use this. And actually a lot of those ideas come from the back of the teacher's book, which I'll show you about in a minute. So that is one way you can replace the letter activities at the beginning of the book. I do not know of a way to replace the cut and paste sounds unless you go online and try to find a free printable. However, we did not finish this because my son thought it was so tedious. So use your knowledge on your child of that. And then of course you have necessary pages like this, which if you're artsy craftsy, you can draw pages to do this, or even use a toy wagon or a toy dump truck and do the game like that, if it's really, really necessary for you to eliminate this. For your sanity as a parent, I would suggest you go out and buy this and this. This really is the core of the curriculum here, and you can do most of what's required with these two books, unless of course you're pinching money. And then this, I also would consider a good use of your money right here, these cards. Everything else, all of this back here, personally, I don't think you should buy, especially if you can replace Ziggy with your own stuffed animal or puppet you've got at home. If you're thrilled by all of those tips on making things cheaper, go ahead and bump that like button and let me know it. Now let's move inside these books so you can see up close what's exactly in the teacher's manual. The true power of this program is in this teacher's manual right here, which teaches play-based literacy activities and teaches the parent everything they need to know about literacy education in the young years. As you can see from the table of contents, capital letters are where we start out, then we go to lowercase letters, and then we go to letter sounds. But that is not exclusively what's being taught here. Once you get to the introduction, which I do suggest you read, you can get to the main lesson. Now, this is how the lesson is spread out for every single day. You have the summary up here and what you'll need, and then they guide you through step by step in the lessons. They have you start with singing the alphabet song, and then they have you read from the readers, and then they have you do the craft sheet for the page. Then they have you do special activities from the back of the appendix here, which I'll show you in a minute. And here is the fun games and activities that you do with your child, and sometimes with the puppet Ziggy. Now you'll notice here on the side, there's tips in gray boxes teaching you as the parent as you go along what to expect of your child in the lessons, and just some tricks to help them along. This right here is excellent reading for the parent, teaching the parent what to expect from reading with your child, things you can do while you read for the 20 minutes, and that is the last thing here, reading 20 minutes with your child. Now the games here, the games are great. They teach two skills, phonetic awareness and syllable/word structure awareness. So you start with a rhyming game with Ziggy, and Ziggy's trying to correct, no, this is not your holder, this is your shoulder. And that was a game my son absolutely loved playing. Other games are using those pictures, helping your child to be able to start rhyming. Duck and truck match, and the ring and king match. The ring and the fox do not match in sound. They don't rhyme. Further along in the curriculum, you see here we're starting to get into syllable awareness. So identifying which sentence is longer. And that is a skill that can be hard for some kids. and something they need to just work on. So don't expect them to get it right away. Same thing here. Which sentence contains 2 words? Which sentence contains 3 words? Once they start learning those skills, you can start breaking the words up. You say foot, ball, and then the child says football. So teaching them syllables and compound words. And here again, we say dinosaur, and then your child puts it all together, dinosaur. Eventually, your child starts learning to clap the syllables. But then we have to cycle back to the phonetic awareness here in this lesson. So here we're starting to have the child break apart the words into distinct sounds and not just syllables. So you say f, and your puppet Ziggy says unny, and your child says funny. And then you do that for the later half here, day, and your child says a. So these are the types of games and skills which the kids find really, really fun. One reminder for you is you do not have to do this lesson as written. You can sing the alphabet song and then do this activity here. And then later in the day, you can sit down and read the poems, if you're choosing to do that, along with your normal reading time. And then at another point during the day, you can do the craft sheet with your child. You don't have to do everything in one sitting, which is particularly helpful if you have a child with a short attention span. So second section is lowercase letters. And again, they give you great tips and advice here as the parent as you just go through stuff. Some of the tips you'll see in the reading section are ideas for active reading with your child, or how to have better enthusiasm as you read, or even here, this page is ideas on how to get your child to enjoy nonfiction books. So it's really a great program for training you as the parent to know how to help your child fall in love with reading. Now, the last section is for letter sounds. So you start getting out the flashcards to help you with sound. This follows what levels 1 through 5 do with how they teach letter sounds. And the games here are no longer games with Ziggy. So this is where I got a little bit disappointed. Every time it's just a riddle, and your child is trying to figure out the word that you're describing. And then there's tasty alphabet time, where you go to your kitchen and try to find something that begins with that letter sound. This continues. Same thing. What am I? Riddles and tasty alphabet time for the entire rest of the curriculum. So I say they fell apart a little bit at the last part here because my son completely lost interest. But again, my son is gifted, so he does not like repetition like that. He likes to mix things up once he knows what's going on. Now back here is the appendices I referenced earlier and the more fun with the alphabet games that they were asking you to do. So you could do a handwriting program if you feel your kid's ready for it, forming a letter of the day with pipe cleaners, wiki sticks, or toothpicks. Use magnet letters in the refrigerator, do Play-Doh, go on a letter hunt through magazines and newspapers, alphabet stamps, tracing it in finger paint, shaving cream, or a salt tray. So they really want you to start doing this to, yes, improve letter recognition, but also teach your child letter formation. And that is a great pre-writing skill as well. Also in the appendix is some tips on how to sing the alphabet song and an alternate tune so your child can focus on the letters more. Also, you don't see this often in curriculum, but there is a giant page of references of the research behind why this program works. So if you're curious and want to know more, then she has her full page of reference here from educational journals and really well-known books for teachers. I told you guys, it is possible to use All About Reading Pre-Reading as a complete preschool curriculum with one addition. And that is because it covers your pre-reading skills. It covers your fine motor skills through the activity pages and art projects there. It covers vocabulary development through the 20 minutes of assigned reading. And if you want ideas on books that you can read with your kids, check out this video right here. This is a whole bunch of free book lists that you can go out and get. Now, the last element you need for a complete preschool program is math, which you can get right here in this book, Preschool Math at Home. Go check out my review on that.